Personal integrity is a quality that many people will argue is not discussed much in current society, but integrity is essential to individual health and to a strong society. Licensed professional counselor Dr. Bill Baker joins us now to talk about that. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Always glad to be here, Honora.
Well, first off, let's begin with personal integrity. What exactly is that?
Integrity is usually defined with terms like honesty, singleness of purpose, and sound moral principles. Another definition is that integrity is the ability of an object to fulfill the basic function for which it was made. These definitions suggest two important themes: positive morality and practical function. So integrity is important because that morality is what guides us and motivates us so we can function effectively in daily living. As you said, our culture does tend to dismiss integrity as something that's outdated and irrelevant, so we need to reclaim it. That is, when we're selecting political leaders, professional workers, and even close friends, we would do well to raise the question, what about integrity? So we need integrity because it helps to promote individual mental and emotional health, and it helps us to build good, healthy relationships.
Now, how does it affect individual mental health?
When someone has violated their core values, which are a part of their integrity, they tend to feel guilty and ashamed and disappointed and even angry at themselves. And that can lead into something like anxiety and even depression. So it's critically important for good mental and emotional health that we not only have good integrity, but that we practice it as much as possible on a daily basis.
I assume it's important that when you talk about personal integrity, you start with yourself and you ask yourself, what you believe in, what's important to you.
That's correct. Personal integrity is developed primarily with two essential qualities. First, an individual needs to choose to believe in and to practice a lifestyle of truthfulness. He needs to be a man of his word and practice truth and tell the truth regardless of the outcome or his personal agenda. And secondly, he needs to have a high level of trustworthiness. Now, if he is a man of truth, he should possess trustworthiness, and other people can rely upon him, depend upon him, and trust in him. So when there is truthfulness and trustworthiness, genuine integrity can be developed. Without those two qualities, genuine integrity cannot exist.
So it's really like a personal compass, so to speak. It's something that guides you through life and the decisions that you make.
Well, that's a great way to think of integrity, as a kind of inner moral compass that guides and directs us based on our core values, which hopefully are then based on truth. And then we're trustworthy, and that gives us that sense of personal integrity.
Dr. Baker, you mentioned a few minutes ago that sometimes when people don't have it or they kind of lose it, it leads them to, a series of other problems. What happens if you find yourself in that position where you've lost yourself? What do you need to do to reclaim that personal integrity?
That's a great question, and sometimes a tough one, Honora. One of the things that we need to do, if possible, is to reclaim the integrity we lost. Anyone with high integrity is a human being, an imperfect human being, and therefore can make unwise choices and engage in inappropriate behavior and thereby compromise or even lose his integrity. That's the bad news. The good news is that it can almost always be reclaimed, and we reclaim it simply by accepting responsibility for our misbehavior, making amends or restitution whenever possible, and then recommitting ourselves to that lifestyle of truthfulness and trustworthiness. And when we do that, other people observe our positive attitudes and improved actions and usually start trusting us again and imputing integrity to us. And that's sort of a reclaiming process that works for most people.
Do you find that most people have the epiphany where they just one day realize, I've lost my integrity, or is it a case of people tend to have to get involved and start questioning, like, why are you doing this? Or what is your experience?
I've seen both. I've seen people who would come in, for example, into therapy sessions or just out in public, and because they have so violated their core values and they've compromised their integrity, they know without a doubt, I have shot my integrity. They already know it. But other people don't think about it that way. I've asked many people when they engage in behavior that most people would view as illegal or immoral or unethical or something, about their guilt or their conscience or their integrity, and a lot of times they'll say, well, my integrity's fine. They hadn't really made that connection, but then once they think about it, usually they'll say, well, I guess I've lost my integrity. And for some people it doesn't seem to matter a lot, but for many people that is a huge disappointment, and they need to work hard to try to reclaim and restore that integrity.
And I imagine that when they eventually do reclaim that integrity, I mean, it just makes a whole world of difference, how they behave, their outlook on life, their mental health.
Well, certainly, because now they're recommitting to their basic core values. And that positive morality then is what guides and directs us as we are able to function through life all right. You remember the Titanic that sank back in 1912. It sank because it lost its integrity. It hit the iceberg and the hull was breached and water flooded the compartments and the whole thing finally went down, resulting in many, many deaths. And so when our integrity is somehow breached, we cannot fulfill the function that we were designed to do, and so we're in big trouble.
Well, thank you so much for joining us today, Dr. Baker, to talk to us about personal integrity. Now is